Whether you love me or hate me, whether you curse me or thank me, I'm glad each and every one of you is here with me. I'm Jamie Thomas. This is SpinTV. We're at the 2016 USDGC for the second round, and I've got a very special guest to commentate with me today. My friend from Ultiworld. Welcome in, Steve Hill. How you doing, Steve?
Doing great, Jamie. Thanks for having me on, man.
Well, I've been noticing that Ultiworld has been at the top of things in the disc golf realm in terms of bringing journalistic integrity, so I'm happy to have you with me, happy to go through this incredible round. And this was your first time out at Rock Hill. What did you think?
It's beautiful. The course is stunning. The accoutrement, the finish on everything. It's a top-notch course. It definitely deserves all the accolades.
And couldn't agree more. It's my fourth year here. Let's get right to it. Second round. This is some high-powered names. Patrick Brown, Eagle McMahon at 8 down. Ricky Wysocki, Jeremy Koling, some local guys who know this course very well, following right behind. We'll roll right into hole 1, the hole that's changed so much over the years but has never become any less of a must-get right off the bat. This downhill, 253-foot, par 3. Get it started with Patrick, Masters-level player who is just killing it this year so far. Played real smooth and specializes with a putter.
And he just has confidence from all the experience over the years.
Left a little bit high and a little bit long.
And that bush just saves him a little bit, though. He should be fine right there.
Colorado.
And this guy coming up on the scene. I can't say coming out of nowhere. If you're from Colorado, you've known about Eagle for years. Coming of age is probably the best term.
If you told me he was 27, 28, I'd believe you. Just the way he comes off, the way he handles himself, way more maturity than most 18-year-olds I've experienced.
And then Ricky Wysocki, the man who needs no introduction this year, having a phenomenal year on tour, looking to get things started here. A victory here would really cap off his season.
Definitely. I mean, that's kind of where the narrative has gone the whole year. Is it's been the year of the Wysocki bomb, and if he can cap it off with this USDGC win, it'd be big.
Representing North Carolina,
Jeremy Koling, who every time you have one of these majors, he's in the hunt, and you're looking for him to do big things, and he just hasn't been able to really bring that big one home. So he's putting himself in position early.
Yeah, he's always right there on the lead card. This one kind of takes a funny skip away, but you should have a look. I really liked his Johnny Cash kind of swagger today, the man in black look.
The Eagle who overthrew that hole just a little bit. Little juice probably.
First hole jitters coming in, lead card. Nice putt from Jerm to start it off.
Man in black indeed. I think I referenced the same thing in the wrap-up show we did earlier, so great minds think alike.
Oh, there you go.
Patrick from a knee, from the bush. This is a guy that really is confident from all stances and all styles with the putter.
And Wysocki just with a nice little cleanup shot. So Eagle's actually going to lose one to the card here early. Probably just kind of needed to get a little bit out of his system. I know he was on the lead card in the second round last year as well, and he had some jitters then, so just got to work it out of the system.
Well, we praised him early for being mature beyond his years, and this will be a test.
Definitely.
Back again after a word from Dude, who's been a great sponsor of the Disc Golf World Tour all year. Moving on to hole 2, 629-foot par 4. Danger on all sides, especially right there. You see the gravel parking lot that cuts off the access to the green a little bit. The biggest kind of a strategic point. Where do you place your drive off this tee?
And then just with the low ceiling, just on the whole, this is just a great hole. It's picturesque. It presents challenge just from every angle. It's one of it's actually one of my favorites on the course from today.
Ricky looked like it was going to turn into a roller from the start, but nice flex shot. Finding the green grass, middle fairway.
There's that roller you're looking for.
This is the way to attack this green. Get way up there, but you don't have a whole lot of room to navigate left and right. You really got to keep it on a straight line. There is a hazard near that fence. Eagle is known to attack this with a roller. He has range bigger than most of his competitors when he puts it on edge and gets that roller in motion.
And that one rolled back, and it actually still ended up further than Germ's by a good 30 feet.
And that's a beautifully weighted upshot from Patrick there. That's just knowing how hard to throw to get your disc to go a certain distance.
Yeah, real nice touch there. And Ricky with the same thing, these deadly approaches. I mean, you can't put it any closer than that, right in the bullseye.
That anything you can do, I can do better mentality. We'll slide up there, and I'll ask you, what do you think? You've seen a lot of disc golf from a lot of different configurations and tours this year. With the addition of the bullseye metric that we're tracking, trying to eliminate fluff from the inside the circle putting percentage. If you're less than 3 meters, that's not going to count for or against.
I like being able to show a park job, and I think it's good to have more stats for people to track, more things for fans to keep track of, and more things for players to brag about too.
Yeah, and before we were seeing 90, 95, 100% inside the circle putting, no matter if you were 10 down, 10 over. So I think this is a good differentiator. You know that you have to putt for it in order to earn that high percentage.
Right, makes it a little more realistic.
Lead card here, making it look easy. That's a star frame early, 3s on hole 2. I promise that hole is not that easy.
No, definitely not.
And neither is this one. Hole 3 is something that as the years go by, the ropes get closer and closer and closer. You can see that hazard on the left side is actually inside of the 10-meter circle. And I want to say it was closer to the 35, 40-foot mark this time last year.
Yeah, it's interesting. Patrick teeing off here, going with kind of just a little subtle putter shot there. He doesn't seem to be, and he actually goes in the hazard. He doesn't seem to really want to use a forehand like a lot of these other guys are going to. Saw Zach Melton, lefty, just absolutely parked this shot earlier.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as I'm a lefty as well, and I was thinking about, the easier holes on this course favor the lefty, the ones you want to birdie, and the harder ones, you kind of take some of the teeth out. So being a righty on this course, you definitely have a different game plan than a forehand player or a lefty.
There's that forehand shot. Interestingly enough, though, Wysocki known as a forehand player, but he goes with the backhand here.
It's been a development in his game over the past couple years that I've seen, learning to trust that backhand and develop accuracy with it.
Yeah, he said that's been a big part in his success this year. And Eagle actually goes out of the hazard there, but he's still in the circle.
Yeah, I'd go on record and say that that's a little bit tight of a hazard rope for my personal taste, but I can't fault the designers for pushing the envelope. They wanted to design something that challenges the best, and I mean, he's only going to get a 3 for a solid drive and a great putt.
Yeah, just bangs it in with some authority. He really put some nice spin on that to get it to stick there.
Here's Big Germ.
Oh, he sails it.
You got to wonder if being tucked into that bush just a little bit, you can't feel that headwind.
He is a big man, so there's that probably plays something into it too. Got a lot of bushes sticking there.
Ricky, no problem with a little tail, a little nod of appreciation. Patrick as well. finishing up on hole 3. Pretty good start for most of the lead card here. You know, you see a range of scores, but having those birdie cushions for most of these guys going in, you really have to get off to an under par early on this layout.
No doubt. And Ricky already chipping off a couple strokes from Eagle's lead. That's a quick little way to narrow the gap there. You got to wonder. It'll be interesting to see how Eagle responds here.
And hole 4, as I always do when I do commentary on Winthrop Gold, I have to give a shout out to Rock Searle. Rock, we miss you here this year. For anybody that may be new to this tradition, if you birdie hole 4, you get a picture with Rock Searle, and
yep.
Around this time he usually posts on social media some pictures that go way back of some guys who could really attack and earn the birdie here, just like Jerm's trying to do with this massive forehand right to the corner.
Great shot. And you saw Rick go into that tree a little early. This one, he seems to scuffle a bit on this hole. Eagle with another hot shot coming in there.
And yeah, hot is definitely the word. Came in a little too speedy, went past that gap. And Patrick's showing right there. He's a little bit off, you know, a little high on hole 1 with the putter, a little bit juiced on the release.
Just didn't get that one to bite quite as much as he needed to there, it looked like.
He did get it through the gap, so he will at least be looking at that U-shaped bunch of cedars that protects the pin. And this is just one of those holes that until you play it, you know, these guys make it look so much easier than it is. I like to use the term 4-digit separator to put your drive in position.
My
and to
goodness.
do that.
A little friendly roll there even.
Curling the pin, showing off the forehand early, Eagle.
Jerm right there with him, answering.
Yeah, he'll follow that, and that's about the best place you can be. It's a little easier to attack the pin in terms of a longer putt because of that protection from the wind.
As I just talked about Patrick not using the forehand, there he goes and uses the forehand.
He's somebody that has every shot in the bag, but he leans on the backhand a lot.
For sure.
Ooh, just a little strong side there.
He looked like he rushed it a little bit. Had a little hitch there. He was noticeably frustrated after that. Saw him walk off and have to actually take some time to collect himself, which Jerm's usually a pretty jovial guy on the card, and he was definitely showing some emotion out there after this one.
Some cleanups there. You see Jerm gonna lose that stroke to Eagle. You take the solo bird, and you know, against some guys who have some big wins, you know, Patrick Brown, the current U.S. Masters champion, Ricky, the world champion. That's got to feel good.
Definitely. And then you get rewarded by coming up to this monster.
This is, without a doubt, one of the most fun holes to play in all of disc golf. Eagle said it yesterday on the track. He said this is one of his top 5 holes. Playing in alternate pins. We are going to be playing to that right pin today, tucked towards the corner, with the new Mando in play that started last year.
And it's just gorgeous. You walk up the road, there's this big, beautiful lake. I mean, it comes off well in the video, but just to see it in person is a whole other part to really get the appreciation for this course and this event. It's great.
Another thing to appreciate there is Eagle's drive right in the middle of the fairway. No easy task. You see Ricky getting over on it a little early. And here's the safe play by Jerm.
And just leaning on that big forehand again, man. That's his bread and butter. That blue disc is his jam today.
And Patrick, that's a pretty aggressive shot. That's trusting. Great flex shot there. Trusting that you can get it over in the wind, but not over too much and staying center cut.
Easy job for that spotter there. Didn't even have to move.
There's Rick going outside. It's a little more of an old school route back when the tee pad was up towards the road there. A lot of guys would choose to throw it out over the trees, and Germ doing the same thing. Height control so crucial on this line.
Yeah, and he just yanked it a little too far there.
Patrick gonna find the same fate. That's the tricky thing about the wind on this hole. You can't leave it too far hyzer, but you can't leave it flat either, because you will get pushed up that hill and across that road.
Yeah, and Eagle keeps it nice and low there to not really have to contend with much. He also had a really nice lie to play from there.
It's a good shot by Germ, but I continue to be impressed by Eagle.
Oh,
I mean,
how can you not be?
he has the least experience of any player on this card, on this course, and he's showing him how it's done. He's played 5 to perfection, but whew, biggest shot still ahead of him. So Ricky shows good approach there over the corner.
Yeah, this is just such a fun shot. Over the water, you know, a little danger.
Flash by the basket.
Yeah.
Bullseye. Inside the bullseye. Here goes Eagle with an aggressive run. Yeah.
Ding.
Right off the basket. Wow, I mean, go straight back to the instant replay.
Gotta love that.
Courtesy of my boys at Jomez. Ooh. And that was, what, 6 inches?
Gosh, can you imagine the highlight reels we would have had if he threw that one in? My goodness.
I can. And I would love it. There's Patrick sticking to that backhand. That's a textbook turnover right there.
Beautiful. Beautiful shot. Just floating down there for the touch. We've seen that so many times this year. My goodness.
I mean, I kind of knew it was in before he even let the disc go. That's just Ricky range. That 30 to 60, I mean, he's the best putter from that range, no doubt.
Oh, without question. Patrick just hangs that one a little low. That's unfortunate for him there. But, you know, you just watch Ricky do all these putts. He's got that lean back, the weight transfer, everything about it. The mechanics are just so solid. It's been fun to watch him just continue to increase that range the whole season.
And hole 5, the par 5. 2 birdies have been claimed, a bogey and a double. Moving on to hole number 6, the beach hole. This one is just another one of those ones that's so much fun to throw, and different kind of generations of players that come through the years take different lines on it, and I think that has a lot to do with disc technology and how that evolution has evolved. But we may see some different styles of play here, starting off with Eagle.
Yeah, and this was kind of an interesting spot in the round. The wind died a little bit. I know this one kind of straightened out more for Eagle, but back on the tee, the wind had died a little bit. The sun was out, and it just kind of felt like a little lull before, you know, we're supposed to have this big storm coming in, and it kind of just felt like this felt like a beautiful fall day right here. It was pretty amazing.
This is vintage North Carolina, South Carolina in October weather. You couldn't ask for better, and kind of hope that stays, but not looking like it. What it is looking like is Jerem knows this hole real well, and he knows that disc well, because that skip flared perfectly onto the beach. Birdie look.
He called this, you know, he doesn't play it all the time, but he called this his home track. He's been here plenty of times. And Patrick, though, he's from the West Coast, but they know all about the beach out there, so he lands right there.
He definitely plays in all kinds of conditions, and Ricky may have gotten fortunate that didn't find a way to stand up. Even in that sand, you never want that disc on edge.
That's a really nice birdie for Jeremy to take there, especially where we're sitting in this round right now.
Good hit, no doubt. And again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but you've got to respect the game that Eagle has, knowing that he doesn't have to throw an aggressive shot there. He comes in with a share of the lead. He watches Patrick take a few strokes early in the round, and he's playing position golf,
Yeah, he's playing it smart.
but at the same time not taking his foot off the pedal.
No.
And as a result, he's got 2 strokes. And, Ricky's hard charging. He's leading the card for the round at 4 down, but Eagle's holding strong and moving on to hole number 7. A hole that's changed a lot over the years at Winthrop Gold. Now we have the triple Mando gate, and that basket's just staring you dead in the face, daring to hit that doorway.
Knock, knock. We'll see who can go through.
First up, Big Germ, the local.
Oh, that just pushed too far left, man.
Yeah, it's tough with that putter. I mean, even the best in the world, you can see the flags going on a right to left. If you put that forehand out,
Or the backhand, in this case.
clearly that gate is tough to hit. You really have to almost throw at it and trust that you're gonna settle in.
Wow. That's all you can say about that shot.
No words. Here's Ricky to answer. He looks like he'll be just short, and this is a putt I remember vividly last year. Ricky banged one from just a couple feet left of that. Patrick catches lock there. Excuse me, Germ catches lock. Patrick would follow.
Rick didn't quite have the angle there, just got to go with the safe layup. Let's see if Eagle can convert. Man.
And that's a big momentum shift right there. Or I guess shift may be a bad word. He had the momentum, but if you want to secure it, throw a basic shot and watch the rest of the card struggle to throw a 230-foot straight shot.
No doubt. And, I mean, look at the flag. It's whipping. The wind's playing tricks on these guys. It's getting into crunch time here. I mean, I know it's only the second round, but getting into where the weather's going to be the rest of this week and the forecast, these guys have got to take advantage of the conditions now, and for Eagle to be able to do that is huge here.
Although it will always come down to 17. You know that hole's looming. You want to build as much of a cushion as you can, and there Eagle able to capitalize, get another birdie. That's going to be 3 in a row, I believe. 5, 6, 7 there. We're moving on to hole 8. This hole's had its teeth cut out of it just a little bit. It's a par 4. There's no longer OB on the right that separates it from 16's fairway, but they tucked the pin back there a little bit further and a little bit higher on that hill.
That one looks like it just got pushed a little bit down by the wind too much there.
You see that? Just like we were talking about, that would have been out of bounds up until this year, but he still is going to have the opportunity, and he does have a forehand.
I feel like this is another one of those really iconic Winthrop Gold type holes. It's got the low ceiling. You've got some narrowing down at the end there. It's just, for some reason, this hole just says USDGC to me. I know there's other ones. You've got 888, you've got 17 in the island, but this one really just sticks out to me.
And definitely, Steve, like you're talking about the wind playing tricks, even though you're starting to get into the trees. This is a tough lie.
And he throws that roller again.
And I'm going to go ahead and say it. That's one of the best shots. That's one of the best shots you're going to see all tournament. And it's not a spoiler. We haven't seen the other rounds, obviously.
Right.
But that's phenomenal.
Patrick almost right there with him, a little shorter, but especially from where Eagle was standing behind that big tree. That's just a great shot. And Germ just kind of lets this one hover over the little hillside there.
And yeah, he's going to have a long look from there. Ricky could use this one right here.
It's back. That one actually stuck in the hillside. He got some bad luck there. He just hit kind of a slow spot.
Good correction there. Back within makeable distance. A little 50-50 run by Mr. Brown, and here's Germ.
Yeah, same thing, just playing it safe there. This little hillside can be dangerous.
Easily you could run away and have a further comebacker than your tester putt, which Eagle's staring down.
And you see even that it looked like he just kind of, like you said, 50-50. That may have just been a straight layup. That was a pretty low trajectory from the jump there.
And going back to what you said earlier, I have to agree that hole 8 is kind of where the course says, all right, I'm done playing. You know, front 7, you want to be 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 down. That's not uncommon to see out here year after year, despite the changes. All the players trying to get off to a hot start. And then 8 comes along and says, now we're playing for real. As you can see, no birdies on that hole at all.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best.
Back again on hole 9 after checking out another very highly rated course in that commercial, Sailor Ranch down in Texas. We're back in Rock Hill for the hole that's changed the most of any of them on the front 9. Hole 9 plays completely different. You have to pipe a dead straight shot, 447 feet to the pin. The hazard rope doesn't really widen out until you get closer to the basket.
Eagle's going for it.
And there's no fear in him right now. He is just feeling it.
And he gets over on the hazard. I talked to him after round 1, and he said that his plan for round 2 was to make aggressive, safe shots. And I think this was one of those ones that he felt like was in that category, because even with the hazard, okay, so he takes the penalty stroke, but he can still, get pretty far down the fairway. And that was all part of his game plan coming in.
Oh, and Patrick catching an early tree there. What you're saying about Eagle sounds like a Sextonism. That's smart aggression.
Right, exactly. Well, he's been spending a lot more time on the road with Nate Sexton lately. He's talked about how he's learned a lot from him this year.
Ricky with a nice little pitch up forehand. Both Patrick and Ricky setting up for a nice birdie putt.
Same with Jerm.
Pin high, and the wind just seems to have died. See, no movement. Could pretty much aim that nose straight at the center of the chains, not have to worry about a lift or a slam. And Ricky getting the lift and slam from the chains is that sort of unique pattern from his putter. He has that exact same pattern to the motion of the chains every time he puts it in. And Eagle here tapping in his par on the very gettable par 4. It is a par 4, but it's sort of a 3.5. He'll lose a stroke to the rest of the card there.
But again, it's one of those risks that he's trying to take there. With if he does land that in bounds, he's got to look at that eagle, whereas everyone else is playing a little safer.
And you can see as we go through the metrics from the front 9, 3 of our 4 competitors tied on the greens in regulation. But Eagle and Ricky are playing on a different level with the bullseye hits. Remember, that's inside that 3 meters with opportunity for birdie or better. And again, stroke for stroke, shot for shot on that inside the circle putting. And Eagle hasn't really had an opportunity to make outside the circle putts. Ricky and Jerm able to capitalize a couple times there. And you see Patrick suffering some penalties early. He's the only player not under par on this card, but there's still strokes to be gotten, especially towards the middle of the back 9. And that's going to do it. We're through 9 holes already. You've seen the best of the best so far in this tournament. Steve's going to come back with me in just a short little bit. We're going to bring you the back 9 and see how this round finishes. Really appreciate having you on board, Steve.
Thanks for having me. It was a great time. We'll see you for the next round.
Check us back in just a few minutes. You're on SpinTV.